Closing out another week of Saluki Basketball Summer Access. It's hard to believe that we're almost towards the end of July, and we get to catch up with Big Jaheem Weber, in his second year in the program, redshirted last year for the Salukis. Jaheem, welcome, man. Just wrapped up almost near now another full week of workouts.
Yeah.
How you feeling here at the end of this week? I know it's been the first week for you back in a while.
Right, yeah. I had a minor surgery. I was out for a few weeks, but it's great to be back, great to be I was here, while I was out, but it's always so much better when you're in it, and I've been enjoying this last week of getting back with the guys and meshing together. So
it's a huge credit to you, and I'm glad you brought it up. Of even though you've had to sit out about 4 weeks, all of those weeks you were very active. You were still, and not just here. Like, it wasn't just you were staying on the side. You were actively in the drills, participating, encouraging your teammates. How that was big for you just to keep you engaged, but two, why you put such an emphasis of you just didn't want to sit off to the side and just watch. You still took a part of these workouts as much as you could.
I mean, that's just I was just trying to be a good teammate. That's kind of the standard. Just being there and making sure I'm encouraging the guys, even though I can't since I can't actually play, what else can I do for for our team, and just coming in and being a part of practice is part of that. So
last year being a redshirt, there's a lot that you take in and learn, even though you're not playing in the games, and you go through those added workouts before games on game days and stuff to keep you fresh. So this summer, I don't want to say that you learn even more when you're out, because getting those reps on the court are so important for you. But even when you were out, what did you take in, especially when there are a lot of heavy defensive days, that just maybe being on the sideline and learning the terminology and being able to maybe ask Coach Hawk a few things when you get the opportunity? What did you take away from that time period that you still believe was a benefit to you, even though you weren't on the floor?
It's like, the last few weeks obviously has been a lot of defense. So just trying to take in what the coaches are trying to get done, and, what we're trying to get done as a team. Sometimes I bring Coach Hawk over and ask him a question, or, whoever. So really, what I took away from that is just I was try to listen to the coaches, and this week I'm trying to just emulate what I saw when I was out, and try to bring that into practice here.
When you get the opportunity to meet you and talk to you, Jaheem, you may not be the most boisterous, loud, a lot of body mannerisms, but man, a lot this summer when you've been out there, you have shown that, hey, I'm a high-energy guy when it comes to the floor. How much more do you believe you've been able to show that this summer when you've been out there of, man, hey, you get a big block, big dunk, Heem's not afraid to let you know that he made the play.
I mean, it's just part of, just trying to play more free. The coaches are kind of, giving me that, they're telling me to be, more emotional, be myself out there. So I'm just trying to do that a little more and bring that into this team.
How much does showing your emotion more come with, look, confidence can be an overused word, but in maybe it's more understanding of knowing the expectation. Now it's not, you're really more thinking. Now you're going out there to play, and man, when you just can go out there and play, there's so much more emotion that comes to it.
Yeah, it definitely allows me to be free, playing with a little more emotion, and it allows me to kind of take a step back from the game and just kind of be a little more free flowing, and as long as I understand what's going on, and it's big to be kind of emotionally free when you're playing out there and not be thinking too much. So I feel like I've been able to do that a lot more this summer, and I'm happy about that.
You're one of 6 guys who are coming back out of the 6 returners that you're used to practicing against for a year. Kind of asked you back in May when we talked to you last of what you were looking forward to coming back with those 6. Now that you've had here in the month of July, what's been the biggest thing of we've really improved collectively as a group who has come back?
Just the fact that we've been here, we've been through this before. We've been through last year, practicing games and stuff, and we know what the coaches expect from us, and we know what we need to tell the new guys coming in, what they expect too. So it's I guess it's a little more easy to kind of get prepared for that when you have guys that have been through it, and hopefully we can continue to do that, and
One of the common things that has been spread throughout our interview series this summer, Jaheem, is that this group really likes being around one another. And you guys show it with, yes, and when you say that, it doesn't mean that there's not competition within practices. There's not days where it can get a little bit heated, which is what you need.
Yeah.
But in terms of the locker room, et cetera, what do you enjoy most about this team just as teammates outside the floor?
Just all the different personalities. No, I'm sure yeah, we got a lot of unique personalities on this team, and they're all the guys are a lot of fun to be around, and I mean, yeah, and that makes it easier to play with them too. So,
who have you leaned on a lot this summer, Jaheem? Whether it's someone new, someone that's back, like who are some of your teammates that you go to that, whether it's to pick their brain, whether it's just to try to get some more, hey, what was this segment in practice? Could this have gone better for you? Like, who are guys that you kind of gravitate towards?
I mean, just like I'd say like the upperclassmen, like your Prince, Jorge, Mayo, Davion, those guys. I feel like with them being through it, they have a lot of experience, and it's always good to get their feedback on stuff. So, yeah.
Talk about just getting that feedback for you. Now that you're back, you're getting in the groove here this week, which is so important for you. What's been most important this week for you in getting back, and you've had that hunger of wanting to get back, but making sure this was a productive week for you and not, I guess you could say, or phrasing it of overdoing it as soon as you come back? What was good about this week in your kind of lead-in back?
I'd say just, it was important for me to, just to understand what, like defensively is really important for me to get back and kind of try to understand that. And
I know the defensive acclimation has been a big point for the team as a whole.
Yeah.
What is and it's really probably hard to answer it now in July.
Yeah.
But you saw the Salukis play a year ago. Where do you believe the fans, and not just our fans, but those who watch SIU play this year, where are they going to go, man, this group has improved with this defensively compared to a year ago? If you had to pinpoint what this group could be really better at.
Well, it's hard to answer in July, but I'd say, with the pace we're going, just a lot. We're trying to be a lot more, just put a lot of pressure on the offense, basically, switching up ball screen coverages and, giving a lot of ball pressure, making sure we're in our spots and communicating. All those things go into like a good defensive team. So that's what we're trying to build here, and that's the goal. So
talked about you missing that time, but when you do miss it, how important are Brandon Shonek, Coach Showtime, Riley Hoystad, who of course the great athletic trainer here, of you lean on them when you need it, and how they can maybe keep you sane during those 4 weeks to make sure they can get you ready to ultimately come back like you have?
I mean, yeah, just going to them when I have questions, I tried to I asked them if I should ask my doctor if I could, come back and lift early, and they were like, no, just stay out, rest up, and I feel like they have my best interests at heart, and they're always going to give me the right advice. So just leaning on them, and while I was out was helpful for me.
You were clearly one of the guys that Coach Showtime mentioned, like, so proud of Jaheem, of how he has transformed his body. He has really embraced the weight room aspect and getting him to that point. And which is why he felt horrible that you had to miss that time. But even though you miss it, do you still feel like from a physical standpoint, Jaheem, that you have – I know there's always a ways to go, but where are you at? And like, man, I'm getting close to at least how you want to feel, look, the weight you have. Like, where are you at right now in that process for you personally?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, obviously I was out the last few weeks, so it's going to take some time to catch back up and get those gains back in the weight room and get sharpened up out here too. But I'd say, I mean, I feel like I feel pretty good. Especially it being the first week back, I feel like it's gone a lot better than I expected. And, just the conditioning and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good.
If you don't mind peeling the curtain back a bit of Jaheem Weber, when you personally go home and you go, these are my expectations. Like, this is where I want to see myself grow this year. This is what I expect from me and what I can bring to this team. What are those?
Basketball wise, just being a dominant force. Just being the most physical guy on the floor. Going for every rebound and just being a good finisher, playing defense. Like that, I mean, just all those things are really important for me coming into this year. Whatever the coaches tell me, whatever the coaches need from me, I'd be glad to do it. So just being like a dominant physical force inside, and that's really what I want to show this year.
You guys as bigs, what's been, I would say, a big takeaway? One, you guys are big. That is a literally big takeaway, Luke Martin. But what would you say is I've been really impressed this summer by the bigs because of this. Like, what are you impressed by when you get to work with the bigs? Like from Rollins to Max to Jorge, who's really transformed his body as well, to where all of you guys have really made strides.
I feel like everybody's just got a little more versatile. We got guys like Rollins and Max who can stretch it, and Jorge's he's a big force to deal with, and he's got great footwork, and so I'm just impressed. Like I feel like we've kind of all came together a little more this summer, and I'm really impressed with what I've seen so far from them.
Jorge is a lot like you. We're just a tremendous human being. It can be very quiet, not necessarily the most outspoken, but you have seen him from when he got in late last year to now.
Yeah.
How much better is he? And where do you, when you go up against him, because you're the body that's got to collide with him at times, where do you go, man, like, this is a different Jorge Moreno now than even at any point of last year?
I mean, Jorge's a completely different, different beast. He's lost a ton of weight, and he's a lot more quick with his moves in the paint. He can finish very well, rebound a lot better too. So it's just he's a whole different player, seeing him go through that and kind of change his body up like that, it's really great.
Last year you had to embrace a role that many in today's college basketball landscape don't like to embrace, which is redshirting, which means I don't want to imply that necessarily that's going to happen, because for others, who knows what the roster will look like this year in terms of what the coaching staff deems. But you were a freshman last year, Jaheem. Yeah. When you get a chance to talk with Luke Walsh, Jalen Haynes, Daniel Polukonis, what words of advice do you give them of, if you want to be successful and maximize your time as a freshman, this is what you really need to pinpoint and focus on?
Just the conversations I've had with them, those guys, they're great. They're always in the gym. I just tell them, sometimes we got to tell them to slow down a little bit. Play a little more free. Don't think so much. I had the same thing going on last year. It's just stuff that I feel like every freshman goes through at some point, and just making sure they're good, making sure that they understand what we're trying to do, and just trying to get them acclimated to the college game. And I feel like they've done a pretty good job, really good job so far.
Maybe initially in the moment of what we're about to describe as we wrap up this, Jaheem, may not have been funny, but one of the clips that we got shown earlier this week, and of course those who were here at practice remember the bubble that gets put on the rim, which Justin Inslee, of course, thought he secured, did not secure it very well. And the best part is I hope Justin sends me this clip so we're showing it as we're describing it to you. Your reaction to it is priceless, by the way, because it comes off, it hits Daniel in the head, and your reaction on the side is just, oh, my goodness. Like, you were concerned for Daniel, which tells me, you know what, Jaheem really cares, man.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, you talk about just a funny moment. Of course, the bubble prevents the basketball obviously going in, and it's supposed to emphasize rebounding, and everyone just sees that fall off, and just poor Daniel, man. Freshman moment just had to be right there in the head. His head just took it clear right on the noggin.
Yeah. That was classic.
It was I promise you there are a lot more actual highlights in practice than those, but that will no doubt be one that is thought of for sure. Yeah. Jaheem, it's great to have you back. I know you're really glad to be back. Let's finish the summer strong, man.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Once again, that was Jaheem Weber. It closes out yet another week of Saluki basketball summer access here in 2025.